Radical.
Welcome to Flea Market Stories, documenting one man's journey into the world of flea marketing. I haven't been uploading a whole lot this week, not because I'm tired or anything like that. Sometimes that's what it is. I'm exhausted from, work and other things. But this week I haven't been uploading because I've just been busy. Just been out, been busy. Been doing some, shopping here or there. Just having a fun week. Maybe blowing a little bit too much money. I don't need to be blowing. I need to be more watchful with money. But now this week is just a celebratory week. I'm feeling good, got money in the bank, and my apologies. I haven't been able to upload a whole lot. I've been wanting to. So I got this one coming and then a show off Saturday. What am I going to talk about here on this Flea Market Stories? Well, two things. I'll combine them into one just to save myself a little bit of time. I like getting hugged from pretty females. Like if a pretty female hadn't seen me in a while and gives me a hug, that's a good thing, right? Even if it's like a okay, decent looking female. I don't mind females coming up and hugging me. But there's this one little fella. I think he's maybe a little special. Like maybe halfway special. He's not a full special. He's not fully coherent. He's maybe a halfway special, if that's even like a thing. But, he's maybe like a little bit over 5 foot tall. And I was thinking at first it was a kid coming to hug me because there's a couple kids there to come to, hug me. And then they just like playing video games. I guess they're thankful that they get to come and play video games. But I was thinking straight up it was a kid. But then I was thinking like, I hear a kid, with tobacco. And that kid's got a mustache. I was like, oh, hey. I was a little freaked out. But I played it off like, hey, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? Like, I wasn't like, hey, get the fuck off me, dude. What the fuck's going on? Because, I don't want to be like that at the store. But it freaked me out. It did freak me out. And I don't know what I did for this person to be so happy and hugging me. I guess it's because I carry country music CDs. And they like a lot of the country music CDs that I carry. And I was thinking like, that's one of my consistent country music CD customers. So what I did today was I wound up giving them I'm not sure what kind of discount I called it. Basically, it's a 50% off discount. 50% off CDs because they got two and then they were going to get a third. And I said, well, you can afford getting that third because I got a business card and I wrote 50% off lifetime CDs. A lot of these CDs I got for next to nothing anyway. So hell, why not? Because this is a regular that's there all the time, and it's going to be a regular future customer. I mean, he's there literally every weekend. And he got one. Then he came back and told me why he got the one. I don't know what song was playing in there. I don't know what it was at first, but it was Waylon Jennings. And I forgot what famous show he did the theme to. And just a couple good old boys, never meaning no harm. And then, so he plays that relatively loud, some jamming along with it because like, hey, how's it going? But then I turn it down a little bit, Because the last thing I want is for us to be playing the Dukes of Hazzard theme and, some black dudes come by. Because I'd be like, hey, we're just a couple good old boys. We don't, mean no harm. Because I just don't know if any of you are black. I'm sure some of you are black. Like, let me know, how do you feel when you hear the Dukes of Hazzard theme? Okay, maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm thinking about it a little bit too much, but man, he had that cranking loud. But he bought it, so it's not going to be there anymore. Worst case scenario would be some people coming by saying like, hey, what the fuck, that's a racist show, And then, like I said before, I don't want there to be a argument between potential, customers, if that's the case. All right, so yeah. Did it ever happen to any of you? You ever get an unexpected hug from another dude? It's kind of weird, right? But in his case, I guess I'm just special friend, and he's a little bit, like I said, halfway there. I'm going to give him halfway credit. He's halfway credit. Nice fella. He doesn't talk that much because he's just chewing tobacco. He hasn't asked me if I have a spit cup yet. But yeah, he's just a special little country boy. Little special. He's not a midget. I give him like maybe 5'2". On a good day, maybe 5'3", but he's a little fella. The second part of this flea market story is the good news that I am upgrading. I'm moving from my spot to, which is the first building. I'm about 3 rows from what I consider would be the first building, but they don't consider that at the office. It's kind of weird to me because I get it, because the first building on the other side is near the road. And this building is completely opposite from that. And that's the pricing structure of the buildings. The farther you are from the road, the main road, you have less to pay. But I almost got the spot I wanted, but it was already given up. It was a nice 2 area, like 2 12 by 12 feet. And it was pretty painted blue. Very nice. That's what I wanted. And that's why it was probably gone last week. I should have scooped it up last week. Somebody got it. But I got the last 2 wide spot available. It's good I acted on it. I got it early today. I paid deposit. I had to pay down $200 deposit for it, which, I'll get back. And I did that before I even went to sell this morning. Very slow day. Not a whole lot of people there today. I did sell a Wii U, though. So Wii U was one of my big sales of the day. At first, what was going to be maybe a tough decision is now an easy decision. Because on the row I'm at, the last couple months, most of the time it's been very slow. And last weekend I just said to myself, nah, I got to get in a better, higher volume row. And my thinking was that even though if it's going to be a slow day, there's going to be a slow day overall probably. My thinking was, if you're in the first set of buildings, near the actual logo for the freaking flea market, if you're in the first buildings, then you're going to get some traffic. Now, this area also, the main reason I made this change is we got the winter coming up. We got the cold weather coming up. And the past 2 years in the winter, I've suffered. And throughout the cold winds, the 30-some degrees and the cold winds, I'm sure people that come there are going on the inside buildings. They're going in the inside buildings first. They may not even make any room to go outdoors, outside. Especially if it's heavy rain, that's another factor too. If it's heavy rain, then they're probably going to want to stay into the buildings. And hell, some people might just stop there and look into the first row of buildings and not go anywhere else on a rainy day. On a rainy day, the open areas that are even near the road, weirdly, are not as busy as the buildings that are on the other side. So on a rainy day, I'm going to have an advantage. Although weirdly, the past 2 or 3 months on the weekend, I've avoided rain completely. I cannot remember. I can't tell you the last day it rained. So I've been incredibly lucky. No rainy days. And still, there's people there, but they're just not buying. But you all know I've made advancements. If you've been listening, I've made advancements. I got my display game down. I've taken the 2 tables pushed together setup as far as it can conceivably go. I've had add-ons. I've hung shirts on the front of the table. I've added tables to those tables. Then I have the monitors. You know how my setup is. But it's time to move on. It is. Maybe next week might be my last weekend at my regular spot. I'm paid up for the month there, but I just kind of want to, the only question is when I'm going to leave. And my thinking of it was, I can't leave right now and go to the other spot because I haven't told all my regulars where I'm going to, which is 2 or 3 spots over. But if 3 weeks go by, well, let's say 2 or 3 weeks, then think about it. There's people that might be looking for me, but if it's people that are not regulars, then they're not regularly putting money in my pocket buying things. If it's every now and again customer, especially the ones that live out of state, eh, if I don't have their number by now and, I'm not doing business with them, I'll just text and update everybody on what building I am, then what good are they to me money wise? Because I'm there to make money. Yeah, I make friends, but I'm there to make money. I go over to this spot, and when I leave or I close my table up, I go to this other area. I'm looking around. It's pretty clean. To describe it, there's two garage doors that open. And I don't know if anybody's been there in a little while in that particular spot, because I saw some spider webs. Now, the bad thing about the spot is it kind of slopes downward. Like there's a hard floor, and it slopes back, which might be kind of suck a little bit. It's not the best area I've seen there that's a double wide in a building specifically. There's no front to it. I would have to put a front on it, but I don't really want to build the front. What they provide is the two wooden side walls, and then at the back, there's really not a wall because there's a separate spot in between two roll-up doors, and then corners of the wall. So the way I'd probably set it up is I would have two tables there pushed on one side, and then because I have a lot more wide space, even though it's still 12 by 12, I don't have to worry about any other people and their lines. There's just walls there. So I essentially wind up getting a couple extra feet because I don't have to have that leeway from, that I call respectful leeway for other tables to the left or right of me. There's nobody there. It's a wall. So I can not only, have that extra space, but I can hang different things on the wall. I can put up shelves on the corner walls, put up maybe, comics, or if I get Funko Pops ever, I can put on the sides. Mostly, like I said, though, it's done to keep the cold winds off of me because I can put both garage doors down. I ain't got to worry about a damn open tarp. Where I was in the opening, people say, oh, why don't you just get a tarp? So I'm just going to carry around a tarp in the car and put it up every single time I want to set up. No, that's just aggravating. Inside the walls. Just, it's nice. It's going to be nice. And once I get everything set up, of course, I'll be taking video to show you guys when I get set up, and I'll be telling you the stories of this new adventure, the new spot. The best part is it's only $20 more a month. Crazy, isn't it? I get two walls, entire walls, a couple more feet of space, and I get to keep the cold winds off of me for only $20 more a month. And it's a much better spot, I think, traffic-wise. I was talking to the jewelry people. There's some jewelry people that are there. And they had been there for 30 years. And they told me, good thing about that row is, most of the people that are on that particular row have been there for a long time. So that means a steady stream of consistent customers. Even like I'm within view of the jewelry area. So there's going to be a lot of people coming to buy jewelry this time of year. Hell, any time of year. Jewelry never goes out of style. That's a good business because there's always people buying jewelry. It's going to be nice. It's going to be fun. I am going to have to say goodbye to my old spot. So it may seem silly to a lot of you. It's just a flea market, but for 2 years, every single Saturday and Sunday, I've been in one particular spot. I've met lots of people in that one particular spot. I have neighbors that I will have to say goodbye to. Because, unless I walk out of my spot, I usually get there close to the time I need to be there. I may not see some of these people unless I go out of my way to say hey to them for several weeks or months at a time. And another thought is, who's going to get my spot? Who's going to be there? Do I stop by and kind of like slip them a 5 or a 10 and say, hey, if anybody comes asking for the game guy, just tell them where I am right now. What I would like to do is there's another person. This is a third flea market story. I'll try to make this one brief. There's a third person that kind of looks up to me and kind of wants to do what I do. They just want to basically deal with retro gaming and stuff. They don't want to do the whole aspect of like music CDs and movies and comics. And I told them I kind of stretched in a little bit because I'm trying to do like a four-pillared media thing and not just with games. And I told them people ask for a lot of different things like Sega stuff and things of that nature. And I don't carry any Sega stuff. I barely have any Nintendo ever. So I told him it would be really cool if you could talk to the office and I'll put a good word in for you to be here selling maybe some of the older retro stuff. And then maybe if you get 360 stuff, I might trade you some of the older retro stuff I have. Today I traded him a Game Gear with a baseball game. I didn't know if it worked or not because it doesn't have any batteries in it, doesn't have a power plug, for a couple DVDs and an Xbox 360 controller. That's the kind of trade that I would be doing with someone like that. Getting 360 stuff, trading Sega stuff. And maybe I might even make him a wing of my store. Or, I could basically have a franchise going there with a couple different spots. Not completely controlled by me, but, partners with me, I suppose. That's all I got today for Flea Market Stories. Stay tuned for Show Off Saturdays. And hope you all had a great Halloween, by the way, too.